Alright guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. Hope you guys all had an enjoyable Thanksgiving yesterday. I certainly had my share of food, but the holiday's over and back on the grind. So for today, I'm going to go over a story titled, As a Husband and Father, I Feel Like I'm Just an Unglorified Wallet and No One Respects Me or Even Acknowledges My Contribution. And guys, this story, which apparently has been posted about 24, 36 hours ago, is really circulating around online. It's from Reddit. And this is about a guy who's relatively young, in my opinion, early 30s, and he is just being milked for everything by his very ungrateful and, in my opinion, narcissistic wife for being pretty much just a giant walking, talking wallet. And you're going to see more what I'm talking about when I get into this. And I got to tell you guys, you know, I do 1 to 2 videos a day here on this channel. Lately, it's been more like 2, except for yesterday because it was Thanksgiving. And this is probably one of the more important videos I've done in a while, because it's really important for you guys that, regardless of what you may say in the comments section, a lot of you guys are going to get married one day anyway, or at least thinking about it on some level. This here is going to give you a reflection of the times and what you may deal with and go through if you're not careful. If you actually take the leap and get married, or you don't have enough self-respect to stand up for yourself when things are going on here, because this is just this is a bad situation. And this is all about a guy, just like it says here in the title, that he is, again, relatively young. He's busting his butt, and his wife does nothing. And yet, she treats him like complete disrespect. Nothing's done around the house. He's expected to pay for this, and this. And yet, she does nothing. Ungrateful, gives him a hard time, and he's just like throwing his hands up there saying, what the hell? I might also add that he hired a nanny for her because they have kids, a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old, and yet dishes aren't done, laundry isn't done, there's no food when he comes home. She gives him a hard time about not being with her and all that. Meanwhile, this guy's busting his butt. Does this sound like an ideal situation, guys? And there are many other things here, but I gotta tell you, there are some very important lessons in this story, guys, and just a few I'm gonna just rattle off right now. Number one, how important it is to stand up for yourself when somebody is mistreating you and taking advantage of you. We teach people how to treat us, guys. So if you aren't willing to stand up for yourself and speak up, there are people in this world being more than happy to take advantage of you. So you got to do that. And then you're going to see in this story, this guy obviously either he hasn't been doing that, or he's not doing it enough in a firm way. Second thing, guys, the warning is obvious about getting married in today's world. I've covered that all the time. It's pretty self-explanatory. And the third thing is the narrative. The narrative in this world that the guy has to go off and work and bust his butt and give his lady everything, and she is entitled to all those things. The big house they can't afford, the cars they can't afford, the private school for the kids they can't afford, all those things. And if he doesn't provide that, well, he's a big giant loser. All these things. So again, for you guys that are young and aren't married yet, these are things I want you to pay attention to. And you'll be thinking twice about this, mark my words, in 20 or so minutes when this video is over. Because this is dead on, this guy's story here. So again, the title is, As a Husband and Father, I Feel Like I'm Just an Unglorified Wallet and No One Respects Me or Even Acknowledges My Contributions. Starts, he says, I've been married for 8 years. I'm 30 years old, my wife is 33. We have 2 kids, a boy, 5 years old, and a girl, 3 years old. So what's the problem right away, guys? He's 30 years old, he's been married for 8 years, meaning he got married at 22 years old. That's crazy. That's pretty much just graduating college, okay? Now, are there certain exceptions that there's some people that do have levels of maturity that are well beyond their years, even at 22? Of course. But by and large, my experience has been that the kids are immature as hell. And at the end of the day, it comes down to the parenting. That's what it really is, and our society. But it all boils down to how they were raised. You know, when I graduated high school, the level of maturity that was there when I graduated high school seems like the level of maturity it is now when kids graduate college. And you can thank the helicopter moms or helicopter parents, because dads can be just as guilty as well. Spoiling the kids, you get my point, you know. But being ready to get married at 22, you're out of your damn mind. I tell you guys all the time, if you're going to get married, at least I would recommend for the men at least, be 30 years old or close to 30. You graduate If you go to college or get your master's, you're graduating in your early to mid-20s, you're on your grind then. You're establishing yourself in whatever career you choose, whether it's a trade or after you graduate college, if you pursue a worthwhile degree that's going to give you a return on your investment. You're grinding for a while, getting yourself established. You shouldn't be just off to get married like that, let alone married and have kids like that. That's crazy. Also, you shouldn't be getting together with a gal that young either, because she doesn't have the maturity. Now, there are a lot of people who talk about, oh, you should marry them right away, super young, so they're not corrupted by the world, or so they don't have a hard time pair bonding. I think that's a giant mistake, because guess what? How many stories have I done for you guys that watch it regularly about guys that do get married young to some girl that she's maybe hooked up with one or two dudes ever, or none, and she's still off pulling the crap a decade later or so, wanting the open marriage and all that, so it doesn't make a difference either way. At least if you wait till you're about 30 years old and you get a lot of life experience, by that age you might realize, I'm not going to get married because they're all crazy out there, or the institution is completely effed up, or I'm going to get raked over the coals. You have a lot of times to grow as a man, to establish yourself, save money, build wealth, but 22 years old? Next problem. And I know I'm breaking this story up, guys, but this is a very important learning story here. She's 33. He's 30. She's 3 years older than when they got married. Again, many stories I've done, a lot of them, when the guy's being seriously disrespected, the gal is older than him. Not an accident. And once again, we had that here. And by the way, if he got married at 22 and she's 3 years older, she was 25, at that point she was probably done riding the carousel. Now she's ready to find, unfortunately, a sucker who's going to bust his butt and give her everything, and she's going to treat him like crap. Again, is this every situation? No. But it seems more and more prevalent nowadays. Okay. He says, I get up every day at 4 a.m. Clean up the litter box, walk the dog, sweep up the house. He says no vacuum because everyone is still sleeping. I fold the clothes that had dried overnight in the dryer. I check the children's laundry baskets and start new loads. Why isn't she doing this? He's getting up at 4 a.m. to start his workday. He's cleaning, changing the litter box, taking the dog out for a walk. I get the dog park because you wake up, dog wants to go. Sweeping up the house, folding the clothes. Why isn't she doing that? Well, you're going to see. I go for a 3-mile run in the dark at 5 a.m. I'm showered and on the road by 6 a.m. I commute for an hour and a half to the job. Oh my God. I'm not particularly thrilled about it, but I'm good at it, and I'm paid well. I'd rather be home building furniture and learning to be a chef. Officially, I work from 8 o'clock to 5 p.m., but rarely finish at the office before 6:30 p.m. I drive home another hour and a half. Up at 4 a.m., this dude could get up at 5, but he gets up at 4 to go for a jog to keep his butt in shape. This dude is busting his tail for his family. Guys, I used to get up at 4 a.m. regularly as a personal trainer before I started YouTube, and I got additional money from YouTube. And that's what it took, because people either do, in terms of personal training, they do it really early before work, or they do it afterwards. Or some people that work at home, I met them during the day. Get up at 4 a.m. sucks. Trust me, because I'm a night owl. And actually, I would, an ideal situation, I'm going to bed around midnight and get up around 7:30 in the morning or 7 o'clock. That's ideal for me. I no longer get up at 4 a.m. for personal training because my YouTube business has gone through the roof, so I now have select people I train. I've scaled it back. And believe me, I'm not getting up before 7 a.m. anymore. But I've worked my butt off to get to a point that I have the freedom and choice not to get up before 7 a.m. But I did the 4 a.m. thing for a long time. It sucks. But he's doing it to go running. And then all the other crap. And then an hour and a half commute each way. So you would think this guy deserves a whole lot of respect. Nope. He says, when I get home, the house is a mess. There's no dinner. I'm starving. Did they eat? Yes, they did. Uber Eats. Did they order anything for Dad? Maybe, if I'm lucky. Wife will be on her phone. Daughter sometimes sleeping, sometimes not. Son sometimes sleeping, sometimes not. After his day, there's no food for him ready, and if there is, it's Uber Eats, meaning that she got takeout. The hell's she doing all day? I like to spend time with them, but I need to eat. Bowl of cereal or TV dinner then. So garbage. I checked the laundry machine. Yep, laundry from this morning is still there. And a huge pile that didn't even get started is next to the machine. I put the first load into the dryer and start the next one. The wife lectures me on how stressful and hard her day was. How hard it can be when I hired a day nanny. Oh, she means stressful drama with her friends. Oh yes, tell me about what a B word Brenda is, and what a perfect mom she thinks she is, and how she's fake. My, that's so interesting. Yes, a BJ would be awesome. Oh wait, you didn't say BJ, you said bill, as in the bill for all the stuff you just had to have when you ordered off Amazon today. So that's what he comes home to. Let me tell you something, guys. I don't know about you, but if this was me, and if I was married, and I was doing what he described there, when I got home, there would not have been one dish in the sink. Not even a fork. The laundry would be done, the litter box clean, I would have a nice dinner ready for me. I'd be treated with respect, not walking in a situation like this. Now, she's the a-hole here. Absolutely without a shadow of a doubt. That can't be argued. But also, because I'm being fair here, we teach people how to treat us. So if all this is going on, and he's being treated disrespect by her actions, and soon to be you're going to see her words, it comes down to he's obviously not commanding that respect. Because let me tell you something, guys. If the situation was reverse, if he was like the Mr. Mom, if he was a stay-at-home dad, and she was out at work making $160,000 a year, as you're going to see that's what he makes, which is pretty good by 32, 30 years old, I might add. And she was working all day, and she came home, and there was no food, no laundry done, nothing done. She'd be pissed, and we all know it. She'd be carrying on all over the internet, and TikTok, and Instagram. And you know what? I wouldn't blame her. If she was out busting her butt all day and there was nothing done and he's complaining about it, if the situation would reverse, she'd have a right to complain. Because I'm reasonable here. I'm fair. But it isn't ideal to have her being the one making all the money and him being the Mr. Mom. And I've talked about that in other videos. That's another subject for another day. What a lot of bullshit. But he allows it. Or at least he hasn't stood up enough as he has. But she's the a-hole too. Does this sound ideal, guys? He goes on, she tells me about how I never have time for any of them and how I'm an absentee father and I need to step up my contribution at home. Step up the contribution? He's busting his butt for his family. How about she steps up and washes a damn dish? How about she puts something in the dryer? How about she folds some clothes? How about she stop complaining? Look at his day. And she has a nanny. Well, this weekend I have to mow the lawn and paint the garage and do all sorts of other chores you insist need to be done only by me. I'm sorry there's not two of me and I can't go on play dates with you and go on champagne brunches where you all pat one another on the back and tell another how brave and hardworking you are to be sitting in a restaurant paying $50 a plate of food at noon on a weekday for a 3-hour lunch and yoga afterwards. And when your husband gets a Stouffer's TV dinner that he heats himself. So, it sounds like all her friends are like her. Remember I tell you about the guys about who your girl hangs out with or your wife hangs out with? Sounds like they're all the same. They don't have jobs. She has a nanny. They go for these 3-hour lunches and yoga. Obviously, they sound like a very upper middle class, stereotypical suburb family. And look how entitled she is. Demanding. But he allows it. But he married young when he didn't grow up enough. And he married an older woman that can easily boss him around more. He says, I'm sorry, I can't be like the Crew family in the ad and be smiling all the time. Someone has to pay for the house that you insisted on, the SUV you insisted on, SUVs, that's plural, the Montessori school you insisted on, the fashionable clothes you insisted on, the organic this and that you insisted on, the hair salon, the nail appointments that you insisted on. Remember I've told you guys about how typical guy does not need a whole lot to live comfortably and be happy. Because at the end of the day, the odds are that when it comes to that big house, that was her idea. Or the kids going to the private school, that's her idea. Or the expensive cars and vacations and all that other stuff, that's her idea. Does that mean they're all like that? No. Let me make that clear. They're not all like that, but a lot are, and it's becoming more encouraged nowadays, the level of entitlement. Now, to me, she sounds like a complete and total narcissist, let's be honest here, and he shouldn't be with her, which I'm going to come back to later on at the end of this video here. But, oh my God, does this sound ideal, guys? You young guys out there, does this sound like an ideal life? This poor bastard is miserable. And he didn't know any better. And I'm guessing he didn't have anybody to point these things out before he said, I do. I guarantee you that 8 years ago, if I was on YouTube and he found my channel, or a guy like me, because I'm not the only game in town, maybe he would have thought twice. But this is why I do what I do, to help you guys out. Because this is bullshit. Anyhow, he says, thanks for calling me selfish for spending time on myself on my 3 mile runs. It's the only thing I ever get to do for me. Thanks, and it's while you're sleeping. I really wish you wouldn't condescend to me when you discuss me to your friends. And if I'm obsessed with my career, that's why you're stuck being supermom. You already know I'm happy with an apartment and used economy cars and buying our clothes at Target and working a job where I could get home to see my kids. So obviously he has this job where he has to drive an hour and a half each way and all that so he can get his $160,000 a year salary, which is awesome. That's one thing he's definitely doing right, which is great. He's making a damn good amount of money for his age. But at the end of the day, it's all for, he said, here, I'd be happy in an apartment, which I don't agree. If you can buy. And obviously he wants to have cheap, lower price cars and all that, but this whole expensive living, it's for her, and he's trapped. And I have to wonder at the end of the day, do they have enough to put away for savings? She probably pisses that all away on bullshit. He says, why are you and the nanny so busy that your combined efforts can't put the load of laundry in the dryer and press a button? Why do you leave dishes in the sink for me to do after I get home? Well, she's an a-hole, she's selfish, she's narcissistic, but also you allow it, okay? Believe me, again, like any of you guys, would you guys allow any of this? If you're busting your butt like this guy, there wouldn't be one fork in the sink. And you get a big hug when you walk in that door. And you're treated with respect for what you're putting in for your family. Of course, on TV, they'll show that, right? They'll show the guy working hard and getting all the love from the family and all that. But welcome to real life. TV and movies is not reality. Goes on, if you want me to keep working my $160,000 a year job, to fund your lifestyle, that's fine. I'm your hubby, and that's what I signed up for. I'm your man, and it's my job to support you. Now, I don't know if he's being sarcastic or actually thinks that's his station in life. And if he really actually believes that's his station in life, this goes to show you why what I do is so important. It is not your job to put up with all this crap and go through this misery to make some ungrateful, selfish a-hole, and that's what she is, happy. And by the way, does she sound happy from his description? No. He says, I wish you would act like you're on my side. Though, I realize that I want to be home, but if you want all the stuff you insist are non-negotiable, someone's got to go out there and pay for them because that shit ain't free. Right there, he said non-negotiable stuff. The big house, the cars, the private school for the kids, etc., etc. At the end of the day, she's selfish, she's an a-hole. You can tell here. But he allowed it. So, I'm going to call it. We all teach people how to treat us, guys. If you're being treated, right now, guys, you're watching this and you're married or you're in a relationship and people treat you in a way that you don't like, if you really are honest with yourself, if you look in the mirror and take a good, cold, hard look at yourself, ask yourself, am I enabling their behavior? And if you're honest with yourself, I'm willing to bet you're going to answer yes. You may not like that you have to ask yourself this question, but you're going to realize that you enable the behavior. You got to stand up for yourself, guys. Otherwise, people will take advantage of you. Wives, girlfriends, co-workers, employees, business partners, you name it. Instead, you paint this picture on social media like you're busting your butt and I'm just off playing golf somewhere instead of stressing every second. Instead of stressing every second if I'm making enough money to support the lifestyle you want and feel entitled to. If she has a nanny that's supposed to be watching the kids, why doesn't she have a job? There's another thing. 3 and 5 years old. That 5-year-old should be off of kindergarten soon. I mean, this is the era of COVID. Okay, fine. But let me tell you, she could have a job. Why doesn't she? Again, these are things he should be insisting upon. He says, you paint me like I'm into myself when I want to be into all of us. Be part of the bubble you're keeping me out of. Why do you resent it so much when our son says he loves me and appreciates me and wants to spend time with me? Why do you hate it when our daughter wants to stay up and watch me eat and talk to me? I'll tell you why, because she's a narcissist. She wants all the attention. And it's easy for her to hate on this guy. And if the kids obviously are, thank God it sounds like the kids are good, grateful kids, but Oh my God, I don't know what the guy would do otherwise. He says, I'm a husband and a father. I'm a workhorse. That's life. I told you how I feel, but you tell me that I'm crazy and being a crybaby. God. Gaslighting. He's trying to talk to her about this thing. Now, I don't know if he's whining or if he's talking. I don't know about that. And she's twisting her and making me the bad guy. I don't think asking you to order something for me if you're going to spend money on dinner is unreasonable. If you really want to impress me, cook something for all of us. Marriage is a partnership. It feels like I'm doing more of the lifting than half. That's okay, but I need you to not gaslight me and treat me like I'm doing nothing while you do everything. That's not cool. Don't say it's okay, because it's not okay. This is a very bad situation. I'm not your dad, but I feel like I've just taken custody of you and our kids, and I get treated like crap. Please stop rolling your eyes like it's a cringe when I try to play guitar and sing with our kids. They love it. You don't have to, but please don't encourage them to laugh at me. This is not a contest. This is a marriage. I do my part, you do your part. Your part shouldn't be laughing at my part. Thanks. Also, it's hard to get a rock hard one when you're berating me. Be glad I can get up when we make love. The end. When they make love, I wouldn't want to touch this one with a 100-meter pole. But I got to wonder what she looks like. Because if this guy's putting up with all this crap, I got to wonder if A, his dad did the same thing. I have to wonder if his dad had an ungrateful wife and busted his butt and did all that. So that's what he used as an example. I got to wonder if this woman was initially, before the kid's hot, therefore he thought he got himself a prize and was willing to do anything and everything to keep her happy because he wanted to have a hot woman. Let's see how that worked out. So guys, there you go. Now, let me just say this, okay? Like I said before, for those of you who think about getting married, I want you to remember this story. Does it sound very ideal to you? Again, doesn't mean it's all going to be like that, but let me tell you, in the way things are now, the narrative, if you will, this is a lot you guys can expect, especially if you guys don't stand your ground and grow a pair. Because remember, guys, women will not love a guy they don't respect. Does she sound like she loves him? No. Does she sound like her actions, what he's describing, sound like she respects him? Hell no. But people can't respect you if you don't respect yourself. And this guy isn't standing up for himself. He is not laying down the law. It sounds like his kids are cool with him, but believe me, in time, they're going to pick up more of her behavior and might start treating him like crap. So I would say this, guys. This guy's got 3 options here. Number 1, keep doing what he's been doing. And guess what? It's only going to get worse. He's going to get more miserable. And if she's not cheating on him already, mark my words, it will happen. And then she'll divorce him. And my guess is they probably live in a no-fault divorce state. And after he'd been busting his butt for years, like what you hear here, and miserable, and let's just say she started cheating on him, she'd still get half. And all the stuff. He'd get raked over the coals. She'd get the kids, a huge alimony, huge child support, and he'd be even worse off. Because then he'd feel like, yeah, he'd be away from her, but then it'd be like, I did all this for nothing. So if he keeps doing what he's doing, that's probably what's going to happen. 2, this guy he quickly becomes the man he was meant to be, and the man that's deep down there who's strong, and is going to lay down the law once and for all and stand up to her and say, that is it. The dishes are going to be done. The laundry is going to be done. There's going to be food ready for when I get home. If you're not going to work and you got a nanny taking care of things, these things are going to be done. If they're not, I'm out of here. And she may say, go. I'll hire the best attorney in the city with your money. Ha, ha, ha. May come to that. But at least he'd be free. But he's got to lay down the law and stand up to her. Or nothing's going to change. Or option 3, find the best fucking attorney you can in your area and find out your options. Because he's married to a nightmare, total narcissist, uses him, treats him like crap. This is not love. This is not happiness. This is not joy. And this is not what he signed up for. I don't know what she was like prior to the marriage. I'm guessing she's probably a lot better. I would not stay in this situation. I would talk to a lawyer. I would find out all the details, good, bad, or ugly. What can I expect? How bad am I going to get hit with the splitting of the assets, the kids going to her, child support, alimony? I'd find out exactly how bad it's going to be and start planning my plan of action, the escape plan, where I'm going to go, what bare minimum amount of money I can have after all that has to be paid to her and the kids and all that, can I live on? And then go from there and split. Because this, no way. This is hell. And this is a hell that just keeps going. It's like the movie Groundhog Day with Bill Murray. That was like 25, 30, whatever the hell it was, 30 years ago. For you older guys, you know what I'm talking about. Where every day he'd wake up and have to relive the same thing over and over again. That's kind of what this guy's life is like. It's like waking up every day and reliving this miserable life. And I don't want him to go through this. I don't want any of you guys to go through this. I'd find out from an attorney, good, bad, or ugly, what are my options, and I would be done with her. Okay? And here's the deal, guys. This guy is obviously a workhorse and will work hard. This guy can get a clean slate, and even though he'd have to move, and she'd get, unfairly so, would get half the stuff, and probably get a big alimony and all that. This is worst case scenario. At least he's free. At least he gets some of his self-respect back. At least then he can find a way to survive, because he can. Because guys can start over. We do not need a whole lot to be happy. It's generally the women, the wives, that want the way bigger house we can't afford, the cars we can't afford, the vacations we can't afford, the kids in the private school. It goes on and on and on. Okay? So the guy can make it just fine. But you got to be willing to take that leap and make it happen. So for any of you guys watching this, and if any of this kind of sounds like your life right now, number one, I'm sorry you're going through this. Number two, if you're miserable, you can get out of it. It's going to be hard. You're going to go through hell, but you can do it. You can make it. But this is not an ideal life. And this is not where we should be living and experiencing. It's wrong. And like I said before, I'm fair here. If the situation was reversed and he was the stay-at-home dad and she was busting her butt all day and he wasn't doing anything and treating her like crap, that'd be not cool either. And I would tell her to get away from this leech. But this is a men's channel, and this is talking about a men's article, and I'm helping guys out. So, guys, if this is you, make a change. But you think about getting married one day, this is something you could deal with. So, all right, guys, that is it for today. I was going to read some comments here, but you know what? This video is already 27 minutes long, so it's time to wrap it up. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this, guys, and be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.